Erev Tov Chavrim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. Have breaking news. I want to thank my good friend already, who actually is the one I caught it on first here. But Emet Sigal, he works for Channel 2 News in Israel, is where the alert we first got this at, says that the White House says it is beginning stages of discussing moving the U.S. Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. That is from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And what an impact. My wife, as I ran upstairs to let her know that we have this breaking news that is already happening, advised me that several of our viewers have already sent messages in response on the latest news that I did, that the U.S. Embassy, that the U.S. Embassy would be moving to Jerusalem, that President-elect Donald Trump is already in that discussion to do exactly that. And then I quickly looked over at Israel National News. Trump administration begins talks for embassy move to Jerusalem. So it's already came out even there, and we are in line to get moving. The Trump administration began deliberations on the relocation of the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem on Sunday. Channel 2 has reported, according to this report, an official within the new administration has stated that President Trump will announce the embassy move on Monday. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer confirmed Sunday that the Trump administration was considering the matter at this time, but said consideration of the subject had only just begun. We are at the very beginning stages of even discussing this subject, Spicer told the AFP. So it looks like things are happening rather quickly. President Trump is already making good on that pledge there. And although very much welcomed by Israelis, in fact, I think it was a record number 30. I forget exactly. Over 3.4 million, something like that were tuning in to the inauguration in Israel. Record number of Israelis that actually viewed his inauguration. And as well, our good friend on Already Happened stated here that nearly 6,000 sailors attached to the George H.W. Bush Carrier Strike Group have deployed to the Middle East and Mediterranean. So it looks like President Trump knows that he's going to have to back up Israel at any case because no doubt tensions are going to be high with the moving of the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. And again, that's why I believe that that we see that Prime Minister Netanyahu approved the 565 housing permits for East Jerusalem. You got to keep in mind, to me, especially, we know that the German court recently ruled, I think it was back in 2013, that Israel had full rights to be in Samaria and Judea. It was the first international court, a French court, that ever approved or deliberated the actual legality of Israel to be in Judea and Samaria. They ruled that, in fact, Israel does have that right. I believe that they do, according to the 1920 and 1922 League of Nations agreement that had promised, in both cases, everything west of the Jordan River was going for a Jewish homeland. In 1920, it was both that side and east of the Jordan River. Israel was willing to accept west, and yet even that was taken away from them during the Second World War, when they did not allow any Jews to immigrate into the country to where they could build the country up. And instead, they were allowing a lot of illegal immigration from Egypt and from Jordan at that time. Moving right along in other news as well, Ukraine has seized Iran-bound plane carrying anti-tank missiles amongst its cargo. There were two cargo bins that were carrying mixed in with airplane parts, anti-tank missiles, and although there has been a lift on the ban to Iran, weapons is still an embargo to Iran, but that still got through nonetheless, and these weapons were headed there. So Ukraine did seize it. Of course, the plane crew said that they had no idea what was inside the cargo holds, other than what their manifest had stated. It was not listed on the manifest, and so they were detained at that time. We also have, there was happening in Poland, a U.S. military truck. The driver lost control of his truck. It overturned and was filled with tank shells for the Abrams M1 tanks there. I don't think anyone was actually hurt in the incident, though. That happened down there in southwest Poland, or Midwest Poland there, I should say, just north of the Czech Republic here, off of Germany's side there is where that happened at there. Also, a train derailment in India. Death toll has risen to 39, as you can see in this image right here. Very much a tragedy. The number of casualties of the train derailment in the India state of Andhra Pradesh reached 39, according to local media. Death, says the India Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu arrived on site, ordered to launch an investigation into the incident. According to the newspaper, the Ministry of Railways announced compensation to the injured and additional compensation for relatives for those deceased in the crash. The train went off the rails late on Saturday night, with earlier reports indicating that 32 people were killed in the incident. Still unknown, though, exactly as to why this happened. Anyway, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. Thanks for watching there. And sorry about the blurry image earlier there. We still had it on manual focus from when we were in Paris, France there. Anyway, shalom. God bless you. And